Hola mi gente hermosa. Hello my beautiful people. So today, guess what we're gonna talk about? Today we're gonna talk about how I realized that I had to go through something really bad to go through something really good. So with that being said, get my basic palette out. Yeah. Okay. With that being said, I wanted to tell you guys a little backstory of before I met Carlos. So, before I met Carlos, okay. Before I met Carlos, guys, I was actually dating someone else. And this someone else ended up being really bad on drugs. I don't want to say something that's going to insult anyone else, but unfortunately, so you can grasp an idea of how bad the situation got. This person that I was with before Carlos ended up being really, I guess, like addicted to drugs. He was like a crackhead. Sounds so bad. But I did something against my own better judgment, to be honest. Before I was with the person before Carlos, I was single. I had been single for a while. And my cousin was incarcerated with this person. And my cousin was like, hey, one of the inmates here saw your picture and he wanted to write you. And I was like, what? That's weird. Like, he don't know me, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, but it's just like to pass time. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's fine. What, like, what can come of it, A lot. Anywho, I started writing this person, time went by, and then this person ended up requesting to be released here in Fort Worth. His reasoning was supposedly that, he didn't want to go back to where he was from, and there was going to be trouble over there, blah, blah, blah. He didn't have nowhere to stay, blah, blah. Keep in mind, like, I knew he had family there. Like, I would communicate with his family. That's how crazy things got. So basically, let's kind of fast forward. Basically, I ended up with a inmate that had just been released out of prison as a boyfriend. When he came out, it wasn't really, it wasn't like, I don't know, I think it was like a month, not long, a month before he ended up getting back on drugs and stuff. And for a month things were great. Like, it was very, like, the what do you call it, like the honeymoon stage, like everything's perfect, you don't see any flaws, and then reality starts setting in, like, oh, you know what, this person was very controlling, very manipulative, a huge liar. Just, I can honestly say, like, just an overall really bad person, because from what I remember, there would be so many times when I could tell that there was lies there, but I just never pursued it, because I honestly, like, for some reason, I didn't think that it was as serious as it being a threat to me. I've always thought, nothing's gonna happen, everything's fine, like, kind of like, don't let the cat out of the hat type of thing. Like, you don't gotta tell everybody, as long as you're able to keep control of it, everything's fine. It's not fine. It's very important for people to know that if something is stressing you out that much, not something, if someone is stressing you out that much, someone is making you get out of character that much, you need to leave that situation. And if you can't, then ask for help, because it is not okay. This person was staying at my cousin's house, so keep in mind, like, I would always be over at my cousin's house because I thought it was like what I had to do. I'd go to work, go there after work. And now that I'm in a healthy relationship, I realize how bad things got, how controlling things just got out of hand really quick. I want to say maybe in a matter of 2 to 3 months, things just went south. Maybe less. I don't really remember. I have that thing where, like, if something is traumatic, I just forget about it. Like, I don't need to keep it in my mind. I don't need to remember it. It's just not for me, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. But I remember that right before we had our not our breakup, but like when I started realizing, you know what, this isn't right. One time we were at my cousin's house and he was having a party, like a cookout. Well, I went to sleep at my cousin's house because I think I was just tired, or like I had had drinks, I don't remember. But I fell asleep at his house, and I remember that I got woken up by somebody. It was like I think it was like my cousin's husband, or I don't remember. Somebody in my family wakes me up and they're like, hey, so-and-so took your truck. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh my God, like, I had no idea. Like, I had my keys here. How the heck did this person get them? So then I started to realize, you know what, this person has issues. Well, along with those issues was me just being dragged down, because I could not manage to just like let go. I felt so bad for this person, like I had to help them because they decided to get released here, and I felt like I had a responsibility for some reason. And honestly, there is absolutely nobody in this earth that you owe anything to. You are entitled to live a happy life, because, like I've said before, you don't have any responsibility or obligation to raise someone else's child. And I'm talking about grown men, you know? Anyways, I ended up getting up I don't even know whose car, and I drive like around the block to look for the truck. The truck was at the next block at like a dope house. I freaking, so freaking crazy. Like, I should have been like, okay, I'm fucking done here. But I ended up finding the truck, and I'm like confrontational because I'm pissed. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you cannot just fucking take my truck. And he was like, oh, I just came to grab something real quick. And I was like, give me the keys to my truck. And he was like, I'm gonna drive it back, I'm gonna drive it back. And I'm like, no, you're fucking not. I'm driving my truck back. Like, you're fucking stupid. You can fucking walk for all I care. And then I guess one of the guys that was there was like talking crap, and he was like, don't disrespect me in front of my girl. And I was like, let's fucking go. Like, what the heck are you doing? So anyways, they start fighting there, and this is how much I knew. Like, I was unhappy. I did not want to be in that relationship. I felt an obligation to be in that relationship, that I didn't even try to separate the fight. I was like, fucking cute. Grown ass man, doesn't know how to fucking control himself. Really cute. Yeah, great. I'm so impressed. Bravo. No. You know what I mean? So anyways, I literally just sat there and I was like, this is so fucking stupid. And I'm like, how can I take the truck and this person's car? Like, who can I call? Because I think everybody was drinking like on the next block or whatever at my cousin's house. Well, I ended up just freaking, I think I took the truck and then I went back for the other car. I don't even remember, to be honest. Anyways, well, the next day I was pissed. You know, I was like, what the hell is the point of talking to him now? Because he's obviously not in his right mind. So the next day I told him, I was like, you know what? I was like, that was completely out of line. How dare you take something that doesn't belong to you without even asking? And, you know, typical stories. I'm sorry, I messed up. I wasn't thinking right, blah, blah, blah. All right, whatever, you know. Let bygones be bygones. And then time passed. We moved past that, and time passed, and then he was like looking for work and stuff. Well, I ended up, not I, but somebody else ended up like helping him get a job or something like that. Well, I ended up finding out that he would leave early in the morning to not go to work. Like, if you're already up, you might as well work. You know, it's gonna help you so you can have money. So, anywho, this person was just always lying. What do you call it? Like a compulsive liar. And I was just so fucking over it. But fast forward, guys, like there was so much freaking arguing, so much going on. Well, one time we would like go back and forth, and I'd be like, leave me alone, stop calling me, like I don't want nothing to do with you. And he would be like, fuck you, bitch, like just completely disrespecting me. And I'd be like, what the fuck, like leave me alone. I don't know, do whatever the fuck you want with your life, I don't care. Well, this person was, I guess, already addicted, because this is real like crackhead behavior. They think that because or they can do something to you and then you're just supposed to be like, oh, they were just, it was a bad day for them, tomorrow's a new day. Because I would get a call the next day and they would be like, hey, I'm sorry, like, I don't know why I did that. And I'm like, I know why, because you're a fucking crackhead. Like, anyways. Well, one time I thought I was like completely rid of him. I was so happy. And he texted me or he called me, I don't even remember. But I remember he was like, hey, can I come over and talk to you? And I was like, I guess, like, what the hell do you want to talk about? So anyways, this guy freaking comes over, pulls up in my driveway, and he comes and talks to me, and we're talking or whatever, and he's like, look, I'm really sorry, like, I fucked up, I want to make things right, blah blah. And he was like, I really need you to help me get together or whatever. And I was like, okay, you know what, I was like, that's fine, I'm gonna help you. I was like, and I need you to do this and that, you know. He was like, yes, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it, right? Y'all, this conversation ended and I was like, all right, you know, you can leave now or whatever, I don't know. So I walk him to the door and he's like, all right, well, I'll call you later. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab my mail from outside. I didn't say this, I was just trying to come out the door. He's like, where are you going? Why are you trying to go outside? And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, you're already trying to control me from going outside? Like, that's stupid. So he was like, you don't need to go outside. What do you want to go outside for? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, nah, you know? I was like, you must be high or something. So I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? I was like, if I want to go outside, I'm going to go outside. So now I'm like, I'm going outside. Like, that's stupid. I don't know what the hell your problem is. Well, it turns out Mr. Crackhead had his girlfriend in the car in my driveway. So I was like, what the fuck? So then I'm like, who the heck and how the fuck dare you? He goes to the car super fast and I'm like, how fucking dare you? Like, I am pissed. You're gonna disrespect me, my home, and come make a fucking laughing mockery out of me? No, absolutely not. So I was so mad, and you know, it's like the funniest part. This is how stupid people are. The funniest part about that story is that hold on, I gotta focus on this. Gotta stay within the lines, stay within the lines. The funniest part about that story is that I was like, who the fuck is this bitch? I'm not even trying to fight her, honestly. Like, I'm just like, how fucking dare you? So I'm like, hell no. You know, like, get off the car, like, fucking explain yourself. And he's like, she's just a friend, she's just a friend. And I was like, boy, like, how fucking dumb do you think I am? And this broad, when I see her in the car, her like, the seat is laid back. So the seat's freaking laid back, and I'm like, you're not, like, she's not freaking hiding for nothing. You freaking told her who I am, what you're coming to do. Like, for all I know, you're coming here to steal some crap. Like, now, like, I'm defensive now, you know? So then I am like talking crap to this man, and I was like, you know what? this freaking car is under my name. It was his car, but it was under my name. So I was like, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna fucking take this car and fucking sell it. I don't know. Burn it. I don't care. So anyways, oh, you know what? His thing was, his car was under my name because he didn't have an ID or something like that. And, so I ended up putting the car under my name. And I kind of already had thought, like, if something goes bad, I'm gonna freaking keep this car. I was evil. But hey, anyways. I where was I? So we get into an altercation, you know, because I'm like, what the hell? Like, how fucking dare you? Piece of crap. And he's like, she's just my friend. She's just my friend. We're like in this altercation. And then she's like, babe, what's going on, babe? And I'm like, yeah, just your friend, you piece of shit. So anyways, we got into this altercation. And it's outside of my house, guys. And during this altercation, we're like going back and forth, you know, and I remember he pushed me, and when he pushed me, he kind of like dropped me, but then like he dragged me. And I know, like, right when he dragged me, I think because like I was trying to like get him to let me go, we were like like I was not tugging, but like kind of like pushing away from him. Well, anyways, that's how I ended up fracturing my leg. And I fractured my foot. And after fracturing my foot, I was like so over it. I was done with it. I was like, you know what? I freaking want nothing to do with this person. I've never in my life been in a situation where my partner would physically harm me. So after that happened, I freaking could not get up. This person ended up getting in the car and taking off. I couldn't get up, and I freaking had to drag myself because I was hollering for help. I had to drag myself into my house, or not even into my house. I think I just like dragged myself like onto the grass, and I ended up calling my friend Colette, and I told her what happened. I was like crying because I was in pain. I was crying, and she freaking showed up so fast, you guys. She freaking picked me up and she took me to the hospital. I will forever be grateful to her. And she's just one of those friends that always shows up no matter what. She just always shows up. So she took me to the hospital, and they were like, you fractured your ankle. I had to get a boot put on, and I got a boot put on, and they gave me crutches. When I was at the hospital, they asked me what happened, and they were like, and I told them, you know, and I got into an altercation, this and that happened. And they were like, okay, well, we have to tell the cops that this was like domestic violence. And I'm like, okay. Like, he fucking deserves it. Go back to jail. So the cops never got there. I was there waiting for them for like 2 hours or like an hour or so. Well, they never got there. So I decided to just go home. When I got home, you guys, I was like, oh crap, like how the hell am I gonna drive? How am I gonna do stuff for myself? Like, I could hardly walk. So The next day I had like my friend Patty help me like drive me places wherever I needed to go. If it wasn't Colette, it was Patty helping me. Well, fast forward, you guys. I get a freaking letter in the mail, and this letter is saying that I am being prosecuted by the state of Texas for domestic violence. How about that? How about that? So now I have a domestic abuse charge accusation in my name. You guys can only imagine how mad I was because I was the victim and not him. So then after I realized, okay, now I have to go to court, I have to hire a lawyer, I have to get my evidence, you know, like my hospital documents, blah, blah. Guess who shows up again? The crackhead. And he's like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna drop those charges. I wasn't in my right mind, blah, blah. And I was like, how, like, look at me. I am in freaking crutches. I have a boot. Like, I can hardly walk. How dare you freaking make yourself the victim? And I was like, you know what? No, leave the charges. I was like, we'll go to court and we'll take care of it like that. So, because I wanted it to be something that was filed as, you know, the truth, which it wasn't me that was the violent one. However, so this person was like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah. And like, he was like crying on his knees. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I am physically drained, emotionally drained. Like, I am just done. And he was like, well, let me at least help you, like, get around, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck, you know, like, I freaking need the help, but not a good idea. So I was like, you know what? I was like, no, I don't want nothing to do with you. I was like, just please leave me alone. Like, at this point, I felt so weak where I was like, there's literally nothing that I can do because his brain did not understand that he was doing wrong. Like, in his brain, I guess he thought, you know, this is normal, this chaos, this drama, blah, blah, it's normal. Well, I was like, I don't want to be with you. Like, just move on with your life. Like, go back to wherever the hell you came from, blah, blah. So then this person would freaking, like, leave and stuff. And then he'd show up to my house and be like, I'm outside, what are you doing? I'd be like, what the hell? Like, fucking psycho. Well, anyways, I would be like, you cannot come into my home, like, you need to leave. And he'd be like, call the cops, like, I'm not leaving till you call the cops. And I'd be like, like, I'd literally laugh in his face. I'd be like, you're so fucking stupid. However, whenever I would be like, I want nothing to do with you, like, you need to leave me alone and all of that, he'd be like, I'm fucking leaving, man, like, fuck you stupid bitch. And I'd be like, fuck you, like, you're not even fucking worth my time, honestly. Well, I grew tired of this behavior, of course, because it's like super toxic. So when I was like over it, but I just kept getting like, it was just like drama after drama after drama with this person. And his mom would come and be like, please help him. And I felt so obligated, and I don't even know why. Like, it's not my responsibility. If your fucking child is out there, like, don't put that on a girl to help, because we have our own lives and we don't have to do that. Like, come pick up your son, He's obviously troubled. He needs rehab. He needs help. Like, don't fucking put that on a female. Anyways, I ended up reaching out to my friend, and I was like, I freaking need some spiritual healing. Like, I cannot do this anymore. When I tell you guys that I was so exhausted, like, I can look back on my pictures and I could tell that you could just see that I was not happy in my eyes. You could see it in how I acted with people. I was so short with people because I didn't want to tell them the drama I was going through. I didn't want them to know how bad it had actually got. Because it was bad. It was not at all something that I expected to happen to me. It was not at all something that I should have allowed by any means. So that happened to me, and then I met Carlos at the church. And when Carlos and I were like texting back and forth, I of course let him know the situation. And I told him, look, like, this is going on. I really don't want you to like deal with any of this because like, why would you? And he was like, okay, like, take care of what you gotta take care of, and then, hit me back up, girl. So I was like, okay, and I remember it was so weird because I remember I was so sad that I had told him the truth, and I didn't want to put someone through that drama that didn't need to be going through any of that drama. So we decided to stop talking, and then I think it was like 2 or I don't know, like between 2 to 4 days, where he texted me and he was like, hey, how are you? And I was like, oh, this and that's going on. And he was like, well, you know what, let me take you out on a date. And I was like, you know what, yes, let's go on that date. So when we went on our date, of course I didn't want to like take my crutches, and we went on our date to this spot in downtown, and my foot was still swollen. I remember my foot was still swollen, and when we left there, we went to another place that had some live music playing, and we're on the other block, and I was like, I freaking forgot my wallet at that restaurant. And he's like, well, let me go get it for you. And I was like, okay. So he goes and gets it, and when he walks out of the restaurant, he's like, I got it, I got your wallet. And I was like, this boy is so sweet, and I just feel like if it wasn't for me going through something so horrible with that person, I wouldn't have had realized how much of a blessing Carlos was, because he honestly was. He came into my life and I was just like, I am done. I do not want to talk to nobody. I have had plenty of heartbreak and I don't need it. I am just emotionally done. And I remember telling him, like, I cannot deal with another relationship. I was like, we can be friends, we can hang out. And that escalated so quickly because I liked him so much. He was like, I'd be like, I dare you to go get into that pool on another date of ours. And he did, and I was like, man, this guy is so much fun. Well, he ended up being the person that I think is gonna be my forever. We'll see, because Just kidding. But honestly, he's just been a huge blessing to me in my life. But that is the story of how Carlos and I ended up being together. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Like and subscribe and share if you want, guys, because awareness of physical or domestic abuse should be known. Do not keep silent. Speak up about it. Search for help. And God bless you guys.